Chris Broussard is joining us now. Broussard, what do you make of this? You confident that Harden to the Brooklyn Nets would even work?
No, not at all. These three pieces don't fit. It's just as simple as that. You got three guys who are used to having the ball in their hands. None of them move well without the basketball, except maybe Kevin Durant because of his time in Golden State. But even there, in his second year in Golden State, he was bucking the system. And that almost cost him in the series against Houston when he wanted to play more isolation. Look, when a big three doesn't fit together, one of the three has to step back and give up a lot of his game. Which one of these guys is willing to do that? It's possible that it could work in terms of them getting to the finals and having a shot at winning it just because they're so talented. Sheer talent alone, you got three tremendous one-on-one players. So they would certainly be good just based on that. But it is not a good fit. If I had to pick one to have the ball in his hands, it'd be James Harden. He's best suited to have his scoring average drop by about 10 points and then lead the team in assists. But is he willing to do that? Is Kyrie willing to play off the ball? Those are the questions that you have to ask here. If James Harden is looking to move, his #1 destination should be Philadelphia for Ben Simmons. And the same goes for Houston, because I'd rather have Simmons than anything Brooklyn can offer.
So let me talk about the Nets side of this and then get into why I don't think this will happen. I think a KD and Harden duo would be absolutely unbelievable. The only reason it wouldn't be the best duo in basketball is because LeBron and Anthony Davis are still out there with the Lakers. But in most years, that would be the best 1-2 punch in the league. The problem is the Kyrie piece. And while the reporting is Harden really likes the idea of this, I cannot imagine that Kyrie likes the idea of this whatsoever. And if this were to happen, I would imagine this time a year from now, we'd be talking about the Nets trading Kyrie, because those three guys do not work together, all three of them. Forget what they'd be on the defensive side of the ball. The skill sets, to Broussard's point, are too redundant. But the reason I think it's something of a moot point is because Rafael Stone, Daryl Morey's protege, who's the new GM in Houston, his first move is not going to be trading James Harden and not getting a blue chipper in return. You are absolutely right, Broussard, that if Harden's available, Ben Simmons makes more sense. If Danny Ainge were ever willing to actually try to win a championship, 1-for-1, Harden for Tatum is a really interesting trade. There are so many teams that would give up a better player with respect than Karis LeVert and Spencer Dinwiddie for the 3-time reigning scoring champ and a guy that's top 5 in the MVP every single year. And this is not a situation where Harden can just pick his spot.
It's a possibility. Like I said, just based on sheer talent, they may be able to get to the finals. But you mentioned Golden State. Klay and Steph don't dominate the basketball. They don't over-dribble. They're obviously better shooters than Kyrie and Harden, as well as those two shoot. And they move better without the ball. Just dropping 3 Hall of Famers together, even in their prime, does not mean it's going to work. Remember, Charles Barkley, Scottie Pippen, Hakeem Olajuwon. It didn't work. Charles Barkley, Hakeem Olajuwon, Clyde Drexler. It didn't work. It doesn't. People have to understand. You can't just throw 3 great players together.
You going back to when I was you going back to when I was in elementary school. You know I don't remember those damn games.
I'm a historian, Brandon.
Wilds, go ahead.
Broussard. Historian, NBA historian.
You think their ceiling is what? The finals? And then they flame out?
Ceiling?
Because if their ceiling is what's their ceiling?
Look, I would not write them off to have a chance to win a championship. I definitely think they could get to the finals. They don't fit. It could flame out. Look, but they would have potential. Harden has shown he can play more versatile basketball. But at this point in his career, after all these MVP scoring titles, is he willing to do that? Even when they were in Oklahoma City together with Westbrook instead of Kyrie, Harden had to come off the bench. Because as I said, when a big three doesn't fit, one of them has to take a back seat and kind of be a role player, a la Kevin Love, a la Chris Bosh. So you're talking about a chemistry experiment. And potentially it could be great, but a very good potential that it would disappoint.
All right, well, there was another NBA nugget that caught our eye yesterday. Reported trade between the Lakers and Thunder that would send Danny Green and the 28th overall pick to OKC for Dennis Schröder. And, Nick, you tweeted out some inside information yesterday. Said, sorry to interrupt the NFL Sunday. Let's put it up here. But I'm hearing the Lakers are pretty convinced Rondo is gone. Atlanta is the most likely destination, with the Hawks hoping he can be a valuable veteran to help Trae Young's development. All right, Nick, let's talk about the Lakers adding Dennis Schröder. How much does that impact their title chances?
Oh, it increases them. It's a great trade. It's the trade we talked about on Friday. To me, it made way more sense than DeMar DeRozan. And you still keep Kyle Kuzma as a trade chip. I don't know how much value he has. Rondo, but the other news here is Rondo's gone. So I've got a little bit of information for Lakers and NBA fans. Here's what you need to know. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope will probably be back, but it's going to be similar to the J.R. Smith situation, his last contract in Cleveland. It's going to take a long time, and the Lakers are going to have to pay a lot of money, use their bird rights to get him. Rondo is gone almost assuredly to Atlanta, and then they have a decision to make. Do they try to keep Dwight, or do they let Dwight leave, probably to Golden State, and try to use their entire mid-level on maybe Tristan Thompson or the guy I think would fit better in Serge Ibaka? Those are the moving pieces, along with Anthony Davis deciding, is he going to take a 1+1 or the 5-year deal, which are the two things he's weighing. But Schroder, the addition of Schroder makes a ton of sense for him, Broussard. It fits. Danny Green was clearly on the downside. The 28th pick wasn't going to help him this year. So I love the Schroder trade, Broussard.
Nick Scoop makes up for those horrific Russell Westbrook trade proposals from last week. So good job, Nick. I'd much rather have Serge Ibaka if I'm the Lakers than Tristan Thompson. Yeah, this is a great fit. Like I said last week, DeRozan was iffy as far as the fit. Schroder showed he can play on the ball or off the ball by playing with Chris Paul and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He's a bona fide third scorer who can also make plays for other players, and he shoots the three well enough not to shrink the floor for LeBron and AD. He's better than Rondo at this point. The only question is he better than playoff Rondo at this point? But look, the Lakers got better with this deal.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.